Hello! We are the Brothers Geek, and this is our podcast. My name is Patrick Schmaltz with my two brothers, Christopher Schmaltz. Hello, Christopher.
Hello, good evening.
And Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, happy Sunday evening.
It's Sunday, November 12th. This is episode number 189. We're brothers, we're geeks, we talk about geeky things. We're brothers, and we're geeks.
And we're going to be together this week because one of us is getting married.
Yeah, that's true.
Which one is getting married?
Rocket.
Rocket is getting married. Yes,
Rocket is getting married.
He's marrying.
So, yeah, we're gonna be together. It's gonna be cool.
It is gonna be cool.
Any exciting things that you're excited about for this experience that you're about to go through?
Yeah, I'm about to watch.
Family weddings are great.
Family weddings are great. We're gonna have a great time.
Small, like niche family weddings. It's not a big wedding at all. It's just us and Hannah's family and some close friends, and that's it. Very small.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I officiated a wedding one time that was maybe 15 people. There was no bridesmaids, no groomsmen, no best man, no maid of honor. The bride, I mean, they had a big group of friends, but they didn't have any money to spend on their wedding, really. The bride spent money on her wedding dress, and then like 15 of us went out to dinner, and that was it. They spent the night it was the Ritz back then. And then I can't remember where they went on their honeymoon, but yeah, 15 people. I was allowed to bring a date.
I don't want to one-up you, but I officiated a wedding with just two people besides the bride and groom, and then we went to dinner, and it was they threw a party like a month later. They just wanted to do the deed by themselves, and I mean the party was big, and it had it had 60 people with it, but we were on a beach with just her dad, his dad, and stepmom, and that was it. And their dog running around being crazy, on a beach in Portland, Oregon. So, yeah,
nice. But yeah, I forget you're a wedding officiant also.
Yeah, I am a officiant of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I'm in the Universal Life Church.
We talked about Loki last time. We sort of talked about episode 4, sort of, but not really, because Chris had watched it. But now we've all watched it, right?
All the way to the end. Yeah,
we're finished.
So it's this is spoilers for Loki season 2, 4, 5, and 6. Because we're probably going to talk about the ending. And so pause it, come back, or skip ahead. Probably for the next 20 minutes or so. I don't know if we can do timestamps, but I could find timestamps, I guess, and
you'll mark it. Yeah,
I'll put some marks in the notes. Okay. So here's the real question, Christopher. When you watched episode 4, did you know what I was talking about when you watched episode 4 about the shocking moment that happened? Did you know what I was talking about when you finally watched it?
Shocking moment from episode 4?
Yes.
Oh, the moment at the end where Victor Timely
gruesome. Surprisingly.
Oh, you mean the disintegration of
Victor Timely?
No.
Victor Timely?
No. I'm talking about...
Oh, no. The shocking moment where they squeezed all those people in the cube?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was as the audio of the crunching and the squeezing and the squeezing of the people in that force field cube was bonkers. Yeah.
Miss Minutes is just like into it. Like,
yeah, it was
creepy AI face watching with joy.
It was as rough a moment as I've seen in an MCU.
I'm surprised they didn't show it, but like
yeah, they didn't. They couldn't show it.
You couldn't show it, but
yeah.
like what a good use of like what's happening, and it's awful. And
it's awful, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Disney let them get away with that.
Loki, it's indicative of the showrunners on that show and the space that they were given in order to tell their story all the way through the end. Just really given an amazing sort of, the tone of that show was amazing from my perspective in terms of their storytelling and the Loki's arc, and it was dark and sad and uplifting. They hit all of those wonderful notes through the end of the season.
Well, I've sort of like, I feel like the first 4 episodes I was a little bit like, what's going on? What is this leading towards? I was enjoying the art of it and Tom Hiddleston and, all the other side characters really. But I feel like I was waiting for something to happen, and I feel like the show sticks the landing basically. The last 2, I mean, I was really surprised at episode 4 that they sort of wrapped up some questions like who pruned him in the first episode. I'm like, wow, they're already like telling us this, like, what are they going to talk about for the next 2 episodes? And then the end of episode 4 is the thing exploding and light, and you don't know what happens. And I really like, I both wanted this and didn't want them to have a hint of what's happening. Like, because they could have just all died, right? Episode 4 could have ended and it's like they're dead. And it's like they didn't like show a after credits scene showing something to hint at episode 5. And I'm like, semi like, wow, they're brave that they didn't show anything, but also like I wanted them to show something, but I don't wanted them to show something. It's very like a weird like feeling I had, because like they blow up and you don't know what episode 5 is going to be at all. Did you guys have that feeling, or you have thoughts about that?
Yeah, I knew they weren't done, and so my anticipation was high. And that's really effective storytelling when you have all of that of mixed emotions that you were having, Patrick. It was, I mean, the payoff of those final 2 episodes was this. The setup of the first few episodes of season 2 was all about building on the end of season 1, and it's just a close examination of free will and what that is. And choices that you make and that people are in positions to make, and Norse gods are in position to make in terms of trying to affect the outcome.
Well, or Loki said it.
The path anyway. And that's the fantastic sort of storytelling, is that it was freaking deep.
Yeah, very.
Well, and that's sort of the like the moment where they're in the pie room with Sylvie and him, and he's talking about how like we're gonna be in charge of the TVA, and we gotta make sure things are. And Sylvie is sort of like the dude, like, why we cannot be in charge? Like, who's making the decisions that what stays and what goes? And she goes like, we're not gods. And he says, we are gods. And it's sort of like, that was like, that moment like really was like, well, yeah. I mean,
well, now that you bring that up, I have had trouble reconciling the Loki that has existed in this TV show with the Loki that was created and set up through the Avengers movies, through the Thor movies. I obviously I understand that it's a variant, and I understand that both things can happen simultaneously. I was, in terms of character arc, I had trouble reconciling Loki's arc through a lot of season 1 and into season 2. It was probably my own preconceived notions of what I expected the character to be. But now that you bring up how, he identifies himself as a god, even though he doesn't want to rule Asgard, he doesn't feel the need to control everyone to make sure that they never leave him because he's afraid of being alone. He felt rejected by his father. He always felt in the shadow of his brother, and he always felt he was always felt alone and singular, and he never wanted anybody to leave him. And for him to make the choice he does at the end to be alone through the entirety of existence, but ensuring that other people have the opportunity to choose their own life, it fits perfectly with his idea of himself as a god. I'm capable of this. I am, in a lot of ways, superior, and I can do this, and I should do this because I am more than other people. I am a god.
That's right.
So it fit his massive ego, because you have to, in that kind of situation. His massive ego fits with that. He's like, he can love people and want them to have, freedom of choice and have the free will, and it's taking that burden on himself, but it fits with that massive ego idea of, yes, I'm a god, and yes, I'm making this decision, and I'm taking this burden on.
I would like to push back a little bit on your it sounds like you came around to it, but the show is trying to, they sort of hand wave that he saw what his path would have been if he wasn't taken into the TVA, so that he learned a lot about what happened to his family and what happened. So and I think he's got, because he's in the TVA, this perspective that he didn't have before about I am not this singular person. I am just a part of this one small thing,
Yeah.
And so that's giving him, and then to be put into this position and being put in charge of it, basically, where they
self-appointed. I mean, he
exactly.
He is like, I am gonna make. He tried to figure out a way to maintain the status quo, essentially, but he realized that it was impossible, and he takes on the burden of, what, I have to do this for everybody else.
He's not self-appointed, though. I don't think self-appointed is the right phrase.
Okay.
Because he realizes that he's the only one who's in a position with knowledge to affect the outcome.
Yeah.
He comes to that realization, and the choice, the incredible choice that he's confronted with, because that was the whole point of episode 6, was all of his looping centuries of resetting the going back in time, centuries of it, is that he realized that he couldn't affect the outcome, except for one way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all things circle back to Dune, obviously, and so so that's exactly Dune. The centerpiece of Dune is Paul, in the subsequent books, knows the future and makes choices. No spoilers, because you guys haven't read the other books, right?
I have not read Dune Messiah or Children of Dune.
Yeah. No. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it, but Paul sees exactly what the past should be and what the future holds,
Well,
and he makes a decision that contrasting it to Loki makes the decision to do the thing that he needs to do to maximize the free will of people in the future.
Yeah.
I feel like we all have to read Messiah because Villeneuve wants to make that into the third movie. Like it's gonna happen probably because Dune is gonna. I mean, this is gonna be a great year for science fiction movies. But so I'm that's gonna be on the list of
You have to read Messiah. You both have to read Messiah.
That one's gonna be on my read list. Like for
it
sure.
is.
It's in my it's in my want list on Audible.
The first four books you have to read all the way through God Emperor of Dune. Oh, wow. It is the best 4 books series you'll ever read in your life.
Yeah, I mean the first book, the first Dune book, is one of the best science fiction books I've ever read. So I don't
one of the best books ever.
Yeah. Legit.
Yeah.
Well, and it only builds. Anyway, Loki. The parallels.
All you have to do.
The parallels.
Dune. All you have to do is
dude. But that's the point. The writers of Loki have clearly read Dune and other time travel stories. And this issue of free will and the challenge and the paradox associated with all of different timelines, and they all end up in the same place, and there is
sort of skipping ahead to episode 6. He's sort of time slipping to fix the problem, and going back and forth, right? That's what you're sort of, but then knowing the outcomes and being able to go back and try again as many times as he wants, it sort of becomes this, like, when you can really change and fine tune a thing, you're testing, right? And then it becomes like you're really trying to get it right to fix it, but he can't, and then it becomes the choice. The big choice is kill Sylvie to save he who remains from the end of season 1. That becomes a big conversation in the episode. And then he really has the moment of, like, do I have to kill her to stop this whole thing from happening? Because I can't stop it. Like,
this is the anti-narcissist Loki, though. He comes to the realization, I'm not a god. Because the selfish narcissist Loki would be, I got this, and kills Sylvie.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna solve this.
Yeah.
It's Sylvie who convinces him, yeah, you can't do that. You are not a god. You do not have that. You can't control this, and he has to go through those centuries of trying to alter the outcome in order for it to dawn on him, because it takes him that long to really realize
he had to learn. He had to be as good as Ouroboros as to understand the science of it, and he really tried to, like, figure it out.
Well,
using science,
the timey-wimey science magic space cosmos conundrum shit. Yeah. It's hand wavy.
It's hand wavy. But the more interesting,
it's comic book. That's what comic books are.
The more interesting part is the self-realization. Loki's self-realization of, okay, I figured all this out, and I've looked at all the permutations, and Sylvie's right.
Yeah,
and there's only one way to deal with sort of the reverberations of what is happening, realizing that the time loom, or the loom,
is
a bad thing, and that he has the power to essentially replace it, but replace it in a way that gives furtherance to free will.
Yeah.
And that Ragnarok image blew my mind. That the Tree of Life, Yggdrasil is the Tree of Life in Norse mythology, and that imagery it's
an amazing,
incredible,
amazing moment.
Very smart, very comes back to Norse control, and it's sort of like you question whether is Loki doing this, or is that just how it was before, He Who Remains. The
Tree of Life has replaced. The Tree of Life has replaced the time loom. All of existence and energy.
I mean, there's all these things about the one sacred timeline, right? The sacred. Hold on. There's one sacred timeline, and they've talked about branches, right? And it's one stick. It's a growing thing. They've talked about the whole time, and then it becomes the whole tree. At the end, and it's sort of for me, it was was it like that before Kang and his whole multiverse war blew it up, and then he created the loom to control it, and
yes.
Loki just returned it back to how it was. Yes.
The key messaging there is Loki or Kang is the villain because all of that time control, time loom was artificial.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of Yggdrasil is that Yggdrasil is the world tree. It's essentially all the threads of the universe.
Yeah.
And multiverse. And restoring that when the artificial order imposed by He Who Remains was just that, artificial order.
Yeah.
And that the glorious nature of existence is that you can't impose, and even if you have something close to the power to be able to do that, which is Kang clearly figured that out, you can't do it. You shouldn't do it. Yeah.
I think this is by far the deepest and most thought-provoking Marvel project we've ever gotten in terms of how it deals with free will and reality and the nature of self, all that stuff. I think it's the deepest, it's the most thoughtful thing we've gotten from the MCU yet, I think.
Okay, so you guys know I'm the hater, but I've been hating this multiverse stuff because I feel like it's sort of going too far away from nitty gritty fun superhero stories like Man on the Street, and then if you have every decision is possible, then no decision matters. That bothers me. I don't like that this story is going. I think they should be telling stories about our Earth and weird stuff and have real world villains. I think that Doom should be the next villain, not Kang. Just saying it out loud, keep saying it into the universe, and somebody will hear it. But I really loved how this show ended, and I love the multiverse stuff. I love the time travel stuff. I think that it ties it together so much more. And I think what I was missing from this multiverse stuff was the discussion about choice and the difference between you and me and why we're different and I think that's been missing, and the show finally said it out loud in such a smart way, in a beautiful way, and returned it to such a heart-wrenching ending that it makes it so much better. It makes it better, guys. That's
the beautiful thing about what Loki accomplished and what we've praised in the past about the best moments of the MCU is all of these super powerful beings distilled into moments of humanity, right?
Yes.
That's the best part of MCU. And the genius of this season was that choice, that tragic, heart-wrenching final scenes of Loki sitting on the chair is distilling the freaking multiverse down to a moment of the purest humanity of Loki and the tragedy of his arc and just unbelievable power of the choice he made to be alone for eternity.
Sacrifice for eternity.
The sacrifice, the human moment of that, they distilled all of the, we've complained about this. They got to go bigger and bigger, multiverse, all of that, right? Mm-hmm. All to your point, Patrick. But the fact that they, in a storytelling, they distilled all of that down to this unbelievably human moment of sacrifice. Incredible TV. So and storytelling.
I liked season 1, but I feel like season 2 definitely makes it better. Because there's so much callbacks and the storylines wrap up and they reference stuff that happened in season 1 so much better. And
well, it definitely feels like 12 episodes of a show. There's part 1 and then there's part 2.
Right.
And they
go together.
I mean, just like the end of Dune, you get Paul to a certain crux point in his journey. That's part 1. 100%. It's the template. It's the template, dude. Dude. Paul gets to that part where he, at the end of Villeneuve's Dune, in the middle of the book, where his house has been destroyed. He goes into the desert. He finds the Fremen. He decides what he's going to do, and then part 2 happens, where he becomes the prophet and he becomes the Muad'Dib.
The big thing too is it's a big thing in. Movies sort of hand wave at this, but he had to take a life to stay in there. He had to take his first life.
That's why I love the hero's journey in Dune, which is very classically structured, but rather than it it fits with the idea that it said even in the trailer, to really control something, you have to have the ability to destroy it. That power of life and death, Paul realizes that he has that and that he needs to make the choice, and he's going to have to kill some people to get what he wants. That is his hero's transformation moment, is winning, his first kill, because he's choosing that path.
And that actor,
it's wild.
Is the Doctor on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. He's great.
I've been watching Strange New Worlds, guys. We'll talk about that
later. Good.
Anything else about Loki season 1 we want to discuss before we talk about other stuff?
Season 2. Loki season 2.
My bad.
Yeah.
Great.
Nope.
Great. Andrew, you said it exactly right. Those part 1 and part 2, it's just a fully realized story with an arc of one of the best characters in MCU, and what a tragedy, but also an unbelievable celebration of sort of what are the best parts of MCU. So
I completely agree with that, and I loved it, and I saw an interview with Tom Hiddleston on Jimmy Fallon, actually, and they were sort of joking because the SAG strike is over, so they could talk about the show that he's on, and he's like, we could show clips of the show, and they couldn't do that before. SAG strike is over, thank God. But
thank Loki, the god of stories.
Thank Loki, the god of stories. But there's a really good interview about this is 11. What did he say? 11 years.
14 years.
14 years of him
playing this character,
and the growth that has gone through, and and he sort of said it's a little bit of an end, but I feel like maybe he's gonna sit there for a little while. Maybe he'll come back. I mean, he's sort of out of the way, but not dead. Like, I feel like they gotta like shelve him for a little bit, and then he'll come back.
I don't think we'll ever see Loki again.
Wow.
I don't think we'll. I think that is. I think this is the end of. I think this is it. He is. Yes, I think we're done. Tom Hiddleston is done playing Loki. This is the last time we're going to see Loki.
Never say never. I read something that Marvel is talking to Robert Downey Jr. again to try to dig themselves out of this hole. So, yeah, never say never. Okay, let's move on. I am watching a few shows that I would like to talk about for a minute.
Bring it.
Invincible season 2, watching it, brutal show.
I haven't started it. Yeah,
I love the comic so much, but I remember why I sort of fell off of the comic, because it is so dark and brutal and gruesome, and such great writing, and really smart, and different take on superheroes that I really enjoy, but. Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
It's not the most pleasurable of reads.
It's not feel good.
It really isn't feel good superhero stuff. So watching that.
Yeah.
And then I did watch some episodes of Strange New Worlds season 1. I kind of hate it, but I kind of love it, and I keep watching them. And I have a lot of notes that I was going to like blast you guys with, but like the reality is like it's science fiction, and it's better than Discovery. Discovery, I hated. We don't
have to shit on Discovery, dude.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I hate Discovery, but
move past it.
Move past it. But Strange New Worlds is much better.
Anson Mount is compelling, dude.
Yes.
Anson Mount is compelling. There are compelling actors on that show.
I think all of the characters in Strange New Worlds are much more interesting. They're the most interesting characters in Star Trek right now. And I say that not watching Lower Decks, but the reason I like Strange New Worlds is because I like the episodic, character-driven stories of the crew. The crew is great.
Lower Decks is goofy as hell, but those 4 main characters grow on you for sure.
Yeah.
Boimler is so funny, and so it like the 4 main characters of Lower Decks are amazing, but. I think, the characters are growing on me, and it took a minute. Like, it took 3 or 4 episodes for me to be like, who are these people? What the hell is happening? And I was like, it's Spock, but not really Spock. Like,
I love Ethan Peck's Spock. I think he's great.
I mean, he's not Leonard Nimoy, but I kind of like
he can't be Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy is singular.
Leonard Nimoy is amazing, but
I
think I'm enjoying it. I hate to say it, because here's the real fact. I fucking love Star Trek. I love it. Like, and I was really disappointed by a lot of Trek that's on Paramount Plus, but I've really been enjoying Lower Decks, mostly because it's sort of like nostalgia stroking, doesn't take itself too seriously, and most of the time they solve things with silence. They solve things with science, or it's smaller stories. I like the small stories.
Okay. The reason you like Lower Decks, Patrick, is because Boimler is a fanboy self-insert character.
I love it.
So all the fanboys love Boimler because he is them.
Yes.
It's fine, but that's why they do it. They created this character as a self-insert.
And and I will say, I have to say, like, Picard season 3, very good. Picard season 1 and 2, trash. You could skip over those completely.
Season 3 was a lot of fun. I liked season 3.
But like total nostalgia stroking, total like callbacks to old stuff. But I loved it.
Well, I think you could say nostalgia stroking, but it's good. It's realizing the strengths of your character and the best way to tell a story. Picard and Stewart are their best when they're surrounded by that crew. When he is playing off of Riker, when he's playing off of Troy, when he's playing off of Data, that, yes, Patrick Stewart is probably the best actor in the entire Star Trek universe. He carries every scene and he's magnetic, but having that crew around him just breathes life into all of these stories that we weren't getting in season 1 and season 2. They try to create this new crew around him, and it just didn't work as well. The Star Trek, the next gen crew was lightning in a bottle. It just felt so good to have them together.
Seasons together, and you play off each other. I feel like season 1 is terrible. Like season 1 of next gen is goofy ass, like random, like recycled script from the
they were figuring it out.
Yeah. They were figuring out. The first 2 seasons are rough. It doesn't get really good till season 3.
Season 3 is good.
Season 3 and 4 are awesome.
Yes. So anyways, I have my top 10 list, but do you guys have any other shows that you guys want to talk about before we get to that?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Oh no, I was just gonna the new show that I'm watching, just For All Mankind, season 4 episode 1 dropped. I love that show. I will watch that on the weekly. They are now in this alternate timeline. They're in 2003. There is a permanent settlement on Mars, and they are beginning this new coalition of NASA and the Soviet Space Agency and European space agencies and contractors are now going to begin the process of gathering resources from the asteroid belt and all the challenges that are associated with that, because there's so much money to be made for, the resources in the asteroid belt are insane. So
sorry.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Well, here's the joke, Patrick. The creators of For All Mankind, I believe, have like a running thing with the creators of The Expanse saying similar, like we're sharing a universe in our storytelling brains. Wow. We share the same universe. So but you're right. I mean, that's just like The Expanse is our natural progression of what could happen if we colonize our solar system. For All Mankind is doing the logical thing. It's like, yes, there's resources out there that are worth our time and effort to go find. The exploration of that is, is humanity's destiny. So I love that aspect of it. I love Star Trek. I love like the hard NASA astronaut shit. It's so fun.
I will bring up just for a moment, because you brought it up, is like I've tried Caliban's War again because I never finished it, and it's so boring in the beginning. God, does it get better? It gets better, right?
Yes.
Ugh.
Once Bobby Draper,
I just don't give a shit about. And then
once Bobby Draper gets off of Earth, like she's on Earth for a little while, and there's good parts where Bobby Draper's on Earth. But once she gets off of Earth,
War is like we're on another effing planet, and it's like the dudes, right? No. Which no.
Caliban's War is the second Expanse book.
No. I'm on the fourth one. Hold on.
Yeah, Cibola Burned. No, that's not Cibola
Burned. Boring as fuck.
No, it's not. For what it is, I love Cibola Burned.
Dude, like all the random characters that I don't know, it's too much. It's like, and they're on this other planet. Ugh. Does it get better?
Yeah, they're on Illa.
Better?
It gets great. All the books are good, dude.
Stick with it.
Okay,
stick with it.
I gotta.
Yeah, you gotta stick with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry to derail. Continue your.
Oh no! That's just that's. No. I'm glad you're sticking with Strange New Worlds. It is worth the watch for Star Trek fans, because there are moments there.
When you say it, it's like the writing, the Trek is not there, but the characters are decent. Like that's really what his, like, I'm starting to like the characters. and that's helping.
But I think going to your point, dude, you define Star Trek as interesting, optimistic characters solving the challenges of space travel with science.
Yes, thank you.
And Strange New Worlds does that. They investigate, they figure shit out, and they solve the problems that they get themselves into. Just because there isn't the techno babble that existed in Next Gen, I know you do, but you want things to be Next Gen, and they're not. So you have to move beyond that. You want Next Gen.
Go
watch Next Gen then.
I know. I've watched it 17 times in a row.
I understand, but not everything's going to be Next Gen.
I think we'll take Voyager, because Voyager tries to do technobabble too. It's dumb because UPN shit. But you remember UPN, guys? But like Voyager at least tries to do it. They're just not as smart.
Well, the characters aren't as compelling. Like every character, except for Janeway, the characters of Voyager are just not compelling to me.
Harry Kim is an ensign for 7 years, guys. Come on, fucking get it together.
Christopher, what are you watching right now?
I finished Rebels.
Yeah. Good Star Wars.
Tremendous Star Wars. Love what it does to the universe. How it fills in those stories and characters and adds some more texture to the rebellion and all of that. I loved all of that. It definitely improves Ahsoka. That's what I'll say about that. Is I enjoyed Ahsoka even though I hadn't finished, but now that I've finished Rebels, it absolutely improves Ahsoka.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna make me watch that shit too, aren't you?
You should watch it. It's compelling Star Wars, dude.
I can't. Yeah. I mean, I watched I think I watched 6 episodes in season 1, and it just felt like a kid's show. Does that get better?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It gets a lot more complex and dives deep into Force lore and family and relationships and some cool stuff. Yeah.
That's what.
Let's go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I watch the Clone Wars and I appreciate the Clone Wars for what it is, but it was always missing that found family aspect of Star Wars that I think is the core of it. Yeah. And Rebels does that extremely well. Like the Han and Leia and Luke, Chewie, and the droids. That is found family. That is the core of the original trilogy. And Rebels, this family that grows through Rebels, is that has that feeling. And that's where Star Wars is at its best, in my opinion, is when you're telling these fantastical stories with Jedi and space wizards and spaceships, but it's the found family at the core of it. And Clone Wars lacked that. As cool as it was to see Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin doing their thing, and Ahsoka is a great addition to... And I didn't really fall in love with any of the clones for the Clone Wars. Like, there are people that have their favorite clones, and I couldn't tell any of them apart. Yeah, no, Rebels is top level Star Wars, Patrick. You should give it another chance. Really.
Yep. Give it a chance.
All right. I was.
And the episodes are short, dude. The episodes are 22 minutes. They're like you can burn through 8 of them in an afternoon, no sweat.
I was just gonna say that I appreciate Dave Filoni trying something sort of different and expanding on the universe versus like just rehashing and trying, not really saying anything more about the universe. And I feel like that's a big problem that I had with the sequel trilogy is sort of not really telling anything more that was interesting about the universe. Anyways.
And so I finished that, and now I have moved on to, and I can't recommend this highly enough. So I encourage you both to watch this. Blue-Eyed Samurai on
Blue-eyed.
Netflix.
Okay.
Okay. I've heard of it.
Blue-eyed Samurai.
I think I've seen a trailer for this or something. It's like animated, right?
It is animated and it is freaking great.
Oh.
Okay.
Freaking
You must watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. Blue-eyed Samurai.
Blue-eyed
Top
Samurai.
top recommendation.
Top
Yes.
recommendation.
Watch it.
Okay. Cool.
There's been a lot of because this is like the Netflix Geek Week. They've been showing a lot of Netflix like
That's the question I was
stuff.
I was going to pose. Did you guys watch the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action trailer?
Yeah, I did.
Yes,
What was your initial reaction to it?
You know, I have two big problems with the M. Night Shyamalan thing. Is I don't think
we need to not even mention.
Yeah, dude, what are you doing?
It's garbage.
It's not relevant.
It's like David Lynch's Dune. We don't talk about it.
This is what I'll say, and I won't ever talk about that again. I think the action, the kung fu action in the animated series was very good, and if they can translate that to live action, I will be very happy.
Yes,
if
I have the same thing.
Aang's name correctly, I will be very happy. If they cast people who are the ethnicity of the show, which is Inuits and Japanese people and Chinese people for the Earth Kingdom and Tibetan people for I will be happy. That
they've done that.
I'm afraid.
Exactly.
My reaction is I will watch, but I'm afraid.
Yeah, I will watch, but
that's reasonable.
That's
right.
The
thing, and Patrick brings up the Shyamalan thing, and the only thing that I'll say about it is, you're right. The bending in the animated series was awesome. The bending in Shyamalan's movie was garbage. It looked garbage on screen. If they can make the bending in this live action series look cool, the trailer
looked pretty good.
It did. That's what I'm saying. So if they can make it look cool, like it doesn't look stupid, like it looks stupid in Shyamalan's movie, then it will be light years ahead already.
Bring it up. I just said, here's what. Let me break it down for you guys.
You said Shyamalan's movie, dude. You brought it up.
I walked away. I walked away from
it. You brought it up.
Brought it back.
You brought it up.
So
it's your fault. It's your fault, Patrick.
It is my fault. But like here's what I'll say. Avatar: Last Airbender, definitely a kid show. It is kung fu. It is a kung fu show when it's awesome, good kung fu. But then the two people who are fighting each other are fighting with two different like elements, and it's crazy, and it's like fun, and they are smart about how they defeat each other. It's not just blast, blast, blast. It is really good kung fu with elements added. So if they can do that,
all of the above.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I hope that they can do that.
Let's get into
you got a top 10 list, Patrick?
Let's give us a top 10 list.
Okay.
I got 10 movies that I think are the best sci-fi list. But
you got your own list.
Yeah, I made a list.
Okay.
Competing list.
So competing list here. Okay. So I have to tell you some caveats. Here, are you guys ready for this?
Ready.
Okay. This is my list. I don't care if it's the top list for other people. This is mine.
Yeah.
So you can say whatever you want. Also, I have not included Star Wars because Star Wars is a fantasy movie.
Yes.
It'll be on my fantasy list when I get to it.
Yes. I agree with that.
Star Wars is not science fiction, even though it's in space and it has spaceships.
It is space fantasy.
Is space fantasy. So also, I didn't include superhero movies because superhero movies, although they might have some science fiction elements, that's on a different list. Also, I didn't include dystopic places because that'll be a different list. Dystopic futures and because I kept hold on.
Post-apocalyptic.
Okay, all right, this is his list.
This is his own genre.
Post-apocalyptic.
I agree with
and
this.
Dystopic futures is another list I've already written. So that is on another list. Also, this is hard sci-fi, not low sci-fi. So, what is hard sci-fi? Hard sci-fi is space, the future, and very other planet, not Earth.
Okay.
Low sci-fi, which I've already written the list for low sci-fi, is our planet, our time, but you add just another little element that is science fiction to that element.
Okay.
So,
this is your list. Go for it.
This is hard sci-fi, and this is my list. Okay. Number 10, The Fifth Element. It's goofy. It's weird. I love the music. I love Bruce Willis. I love what's her
Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich in her prime. I think that it's got some low moments, but I still love watching it.
It's an eminently rewatchable movie too.
Exactly.
You can rewatch The Fifth Element. Yeah.
That is a big part of my list too. Do I want to ever watch these again? Yes. Number 9, Star Trek: First Contact. I think the best Next Generation movie.
By far.
It's got one of the best end credits themes by Jerry Goldsmith. And I think it's fun. It's just a fun Borg Star Trek movie.
Well, the Borg Queen as the villain is what makes it. She's great. Having that as the villain, yeah.
And the connection to Picard and the conversation about, Moby Dick.
Oh,
very good. Very good.
Very, very good.
Number 8, Galaxy Quest. I think the Galaxy Quest is fun and goofy, and I love that it's tongue-in-cheek making fun of Star Trek because I love Star Trek, but also it's goofy. And it's great, and I think that it's very watchable and hilarious. Number 7, Wrath of Khan, the best old Trek movie. Khan is great. The death of Spock is amazing. Spoilers, sorry. And some of the best music too. And a really good spaceship battle in film. And they keep repeating this all throughout. Like, why do all these spaceships have to go into nebulas to hide? It's like throughout all of Star Trek, and it's really, really because of Wrath of Khan, they keep doing that. Number 6, I know it was on my action movie list, but The Matrix is I also like. I would like to say about science fiction, I do enjoy the movies that pose questions about humanity and choices and things. How technology has changed, and I think that this is like a really good examination of like what is reality, what is what we know, like what are we doing with our lives? Someone told you that it's different. So I love all those science fiction aspects of it. It does take place in the future, so it gets on the list. Number 5. You guys don't have any comments about any of these? You guys, I'm just sort of like
taking it in.
Taking it in, dude.
Taking it in. Number 5, Alien, the first one. I think it's well made, beautiful, dark, scary. Ridley Scott is amazing at set design and making things feel lived in. And that ship is amazing and clunky, and I love the beginning of that movie is incredible, where they go down to the planet and they're in this alien planet. So the alien ship. Ah, it's so good. The art design is incredible. It's creepy. And it's basically like the horror movie with like the final girl at the end, saving the day, but it's still good. Um, Number 4, Serenity. Still love this movie.
That's pretty high.
I know.
And I don't fault it, but it's pretty high.
It's so fun. It's so fun and simple, and I think it's a great script, and there's got a lot of really good moments to it. And the wrap up of a show that I loved, the would-be show that never happened. I'm glad they did it, and it's good science fiction. Number 3, Moon. I love.
Never seen it.
Love this simple story about a guy who's on a space station by himself, talking to an AI, figuring out what he is and who he is, and small little indie movie. I really enjoy it. So, number 2, Interstellar. Great Hans Zimmer score. Probably my favorite, if not his best. He's got a lot. So, Hans Zimmer killing it, and Christopher Nolan, just top of his game. And there's some weird planets and crazy shit, and it was almost on my dystopic future list, but most of the movie takes place in space, so on the list. Number 1, I know, probably gonna get flack for this, but Dune. Denis Villeneuve.
2021.
That one, not
Denis Villeneuve.
Not David Lynch's Dune, but Dune.
The movie we don't acknowledge.
Hans Zimmer killing it again. Beautifully shot, beautifully acted. I can't wait for part 2. I have some honorable mentions, but what's your list, Andrew?
Well, I didn't drill down nearly as narrow as you did. Okay. So I do agree that post-apocalyptic and sci-fi, while they do cross paths, are generally two different genres, but these are in no particular order. These are just stream of consciousness 10, top 10. I have Jurassic Park on my list as a science fiction movie because it is science fiction.
That's on a list of mine.
Yeah. Arrival.
That's on a list of mine.
Yeah.
An incredible movie.
Incredible movie. Gravity with Sandra. I love Gravity. I think it's a tremendous
film. Doesn't crack my top 10.
No,
I think
doesn't crack my top 10. The music's really good. There's one moment that is.
It is an amazingly life-affirming science fiction adventure. Yes. And I love it. I love how life-affirming it is.
It is very good. But there's
so that works.
That still bugs me, and I can't look past it.
I got you. It works for me on multiple levels. I love The Martian. The Martian is on my list. Looper. Looper is on my list.
I didn't like it.
Minority Report. I dig Minority Report. Blade Runner 2049. I think Blade Runner 2049 is superior to the original Ridley Scott.
That's on another list.
No way, dude.
Yes. Blade Runner. I find Blade Runner 2049 significantly more compelling than the original Blade. I mean, and I like the original Blade Runner with Harrison Ford. I find 2049 more compelling. Interstellar is on my list. Nice. Absolutely. And I have The Matrix. Matrix is probably my number 1 all-time sci-fi movie.
Wow.
I go to the sci-fi elements of The Matrix before there's arguments to be made that it's a genre-bending movie. That's almost as much of a martial arts movie as it is a sci-fi or post-apocalyptic movie.
That's why The Matrix is amazing, because it's on two of my lists for sure.
And The Matrix, it bakes your noodle. Yeah, so that's
I saw The Matrix, I was like, what did I just watch?
Yeah, Dune is on. Dune 2021, Denis Villeneuve's Dune is on my list as well. It's too good. It's such an incredibly well-made film.
Do we miss anything, Christopher? You have anything to add?
Those are very solid lists. I think that the list, my list, original Blade Runner is far superior than 2049, and 2049 is a classic in my opinion. So, original Blade Runner is one of the best movies of all time. Full stop. So, so that has to be on the list. I would add in my top 10 of your definition, Patrick, of what this list is. 2001: A Space Odyssey is on my top 10.
This is my number 12 of honorable mentions, because
you can't leave that movie off of any top 10 sci-fi list.
Here's what it is. Yeah,
I didn't question yours.
No. I totally agree with you. And the reason why it doesn't crack my top 10 is the movie is fucking boring. Like, it's beautiful. I never want to watch it again.
Yeah, I watched it on the re-release. I went to the theater and watched it, dude. It is the opposite of boring.
I think it would be a different experience seeing it in a theater. I've watched it a couple times on TV. Going and seeing it on a big screen would probably be incredible.
It was one of the great movie moments of my life. Was when they were showing it here in Tucson at the Loft. They were doing that. They did a re-release where they had the big, the big format, and they showed it at the Loft, and I went to that and saw it on this big screen. It is not boring in the theater, dude. Right. So, Ex Machina makes my top 10 list.
That's on a list of mine, but not this list.
Okay. Well, that could be. It's all based on Earth. It's future society. So low sci-fi, as you described it, instead of high and low. Let me see.
Okay. Well, let me say my honorable mentions, and maybe this will spur up some more conversation.
You know what? This is an honorable mention. My final honorable mention. Anyway, your lists are solid. My final honorable mention, or my only honorable mention, I have many, but the only one I'm going to mention is The Day the Earth Stood Still. When's the last time you watched that?
Really good. Very
good. The original black and white, maybe once. I've seen it once.
Great movie.
I saw it young. So I can rewatch it.
It has a lot to say. It is compelling. Anyway.
These are my honorable mentions. I only got 5, so bear with me. I do like The Martian. That's number 6, Andrew. But number 5, Undiscovered Country, Star Trek. I still love it. Fun.
I love it. I love
Star
it too.
Trek. I love the Cold War kind of vibes, sort of, that it's trying to elicit.
A little on the nose, dude. It's a little on the nose.
It's a little on the nose, but I like it.
Star Trek is a little on the nose.
Star Trek is a little on the nose.
That one was dialed up to 11.
Yes, it was.
Number 4, Flash Gordon. Just goofy and fun. And,
great movie.
And the score by Queen fucking shreds.
Bananas.
And it is bananas. And I love it. And everyone's hamming it up. And
I love that movie.
I love that movie being goofy. And yes.
The Queen's Ming the
Merciless, dude.
Queen's single Flash Gordon that has like dialogue clips in the middle of the song is tremendous.
I need to watch that. I need to watch that again.
It's really good and goofy, and I have it. I have the soundtrack on vinyl, and it's amazing. Number 3, Starship Troopers. I think it's really good and really smart, and it's this goofy, gory, like awful movie that at the end sort of like is, oh, these guys are Nazis. Oh, these
satire,
guys are,
dude. It's satire.
It's satire.
It's satire.
People,
It's brilliant, and I think
Yeah.
God, why am I blanking on the director? Andrew, tell me his name.
Paul Verhoeven.
I think he's one of the best science fiction directors on here, and there's my favorite movie by him is on a different list. And
One of my honorable mentions is definitely RoboCop. That movie.
RoboCop is on my dystopic future list, and
Okay.
One of my favorite science fiction movies ever made, and I think Paul Verhoeven is brilliant.
So
and
this came up.
Basil Polidorus does the RoboCop score,
Yeah.
and it's, oh my god, chef's
This
kiss.
is a total aside, but I saw this meme on the internet and it's kind of stuck in my brain. Think about how hard R and violent RoboCop was when it came out. Like, it is a hard R violent crime movie, sci-fi crime movie. They made arcade video games that they tied in, and they had an animated Saturday morning cartoon.
Yes.
That was continued the story of
popular it
Alex. And then there was a TV show, like a primetime syndicated TV show that they made associated with the RoboCop universe as well. To think about like that hard R, extremely violent, sci-fi cop movie, and then it became a video game, it became a kids TV show, and then it got syndicated on primetime television. Pretty wild to think about.
I mean, the only reason Starship Troopers is not deeper on this list is because Casper Van Dien is a terrible actor. So you just got to look past that. And then everything else is like really good. Number 12 is 2001: A Space Odyssey. We already talked about that. Number 11, Pitch Black. Love it.
Great movie.
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
Simple, straightforward, interesting, weird future on an alien planet about survival. Love it. And great in a theater. Pitch Black in the theater was awesome.
Vin Diesel's coming out.
Vin Diesel as Riddick is before Riddick became like a caricature of himself. Riddick in that
10 fucking Fast and the Furious movies, and that's all he makes.
Well, he's making billions of dollars off of those, so he's fine. Yeah. Vin Diesel's fine collecting those checks. He loves that shit.
That's my list.
Yeah, it's a good list. I agree with that.
Next time we can talk about dystopic futures or low sci-fi.
Okay.
But Hannah made fun of me that I wrote 30 movies for my top 10 science fiction movies. That's right. That's right. I wrote of course I did.
That's great.
She said, you can't do that. And I said, yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Anything else you guys want to talk about? We're good?
No, man. I'm excited to see you guys this week. It'll be fun. We're going to have a great time.
See you soon.
I got to go through my stuff.
Go your outro.
So, thank you for listening. If you want to contact us, you could email us at brothersgeekpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Threads. I am Zitz Lamps, and we also have the Brothers Geek Do Stuff on Threads, I guess, maybe.
There will be this week because the Brothers Geek will be doing stuff in LA for Patrick's wedding. So, yep.
And then we're Brothers Geek Schmaltz on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and brothersgeek.com. Thank you for listening.
May the force be with you.